Don't forget to like and subscribe. Today's story, my 24 girlfriend, 23F slept with her cousin, 27, when she was 17. How should I deal with this? This is one of the most awful things I ever heard, and I don't know how to deal with it. I won't post here, but I have literally no one I can talk to about this, and need help with how to cope with this. I spent some time with my GF of 5 years family, including her brother who is 2 years her senior, his girlfriend and her uncle, aunt and 2 cousins. Her dad wanted to bring all the men in the house to see a car he had been refurbishing. I lagged behind with her brother as he's the only one that I can actually hold a decent conversation with. Her cousin, uncle and dad were ahead of us looking at the car. Her brother pulled me to the side and with a deathly serious look said that I need to be careful of my GF and that cousin. I was extremely confused and asked why. She said that he F'd his sister. At first I was mad at him for telling me such a dumb joke, but he assured me he was serious. I don't believe him. That night at dinner I sat next to my GF and her cousin sat across and to the left of her. I kept looking at him, and he was giving my girlfriend quick looks, and she would giggle. Whenever I asked her what was so funny, she would say nothing. This happened all dinner long. During the night, me and her went to the guest bedroom to get ready for sleep. While she was in the shower, her cousin texted her good night. I have the password to her phone, but I honestly was afraid to look in to see what they had said to each other. That night I got barely any sleep. In the morning I confronted her cousin in private and asked them what was up between them. He asked me how I knew. I felt all the blood leave my face and my stomach turned. I told him her brother told me he F'd her. He then explained to me that she pursued him and it was legal. I honestly don't know what made me feel worse. I sat there and ate dinner with some dude that F'd my girlfriend, all knowing that my girlfriend F'd her cousin. I told my girlfriend I was feeling very sick and wanted to drive back home. She agreed and we left. Apparently the only people that know are now me, her brother, her cousin's brother and them. I haven't told her I know because I know I'm going to need to know more about what happened and I don't want to. I wanna pretend like I never heard, but now I can't even look at her without thinking about it. I'm also not sure if they don't have feelings for each other still. This whole situation makes me sick. Am I freaking out over something that shouldn't bother me, or is this completely justified? TLDR. I found out my GF got F'd by her cousin. I'm not sure what their relationship is now, and it's driving me crazy. I'm also not sure if they don't have feelings for each other still. Yeah, sure. Cause you just told us a story about your adult GF behaving like a jiggly schoolgirl around another man for a whole evening. Then him texting her good night, even though they were in the same house. That's not normal for cousins, in case you weren't sure. Also, the fact that her own brother felt the need to warn you that you can't trust his sister with this man is the biggest in your face red flag ever. He didn't just say, hey bro, this happened and you should know. He specifically said you can't trust her with this dude. That's a big deal. If she slept with him all that time ago, why the giggling and the looks now? Doesn't sound like it's fully in the past, especially if she had no reason for it when asked. Sorry mate. You should talk to her. He was 21 and she was 17 at the time. Even if she pursued him, she was a minor and under the influence of an older man. If she was acting on a lifelong desire for him, then it's likely that he groomed her. As I said before, he's 4 years her senior. All of this screams wrong, and while it's possible it was consensual, I have a hard time with that. Be open-minded. But if it's a deal breaker, definitely break up. Was cousin 27 when he slept with her? There was definitely something up with his age, or else he wouldn't have made it a point to say that it was legal. That's all he cared about with you discovering this. There's a chance that she's been groomed and doesn't even realize it. He would have told her it all was okay, and if she trusted or admired him, she believed his every word. I get that you're upset and think it's gross, but get some more info. I find it strange that you went to him first. You need to talk to her if you're going to be upset with her about it. Maybe she did it knowingly and had a huge crush on him still, and if that's the case, run. But give her the opportunity to speak for herself before completely judging her. I find it pretty infuriating that Op has been going around asking GF's family rather than just asking his partner of 5 years. Come on. If you can't trust her after being together that long, then what is even the point? And she deserves to know what has been said about her and address it from her perspective. Op sounds pretty childish to me. Have an actual adult conversation with the woman you claim to love. My ex's brother forces her to do things to him when she was a kid, and we had to see him a couple times a year at least. Was pretty infuriated, but at the end of the day, what can you really do besides cut that person off? I don't know what you are asking here, or what's your goal from this. Talk to her like you are both adults. She had a relationship in the past that is not quite normal. You also need to figure out what is really bothering you. Is it that she had a past relationship? Is it the guy? Is it due to he was her cousin? Is it due to her never confiding this to you? Was it something the brother said? Then you communicate it calmly and clearly, like adults. And then figure out what you want out of this relationship. The issue shouldn't be that you're interacting with someone who slept with your partner. You take that insecurity to therapy. However, her being under 18 and him being over 18 is a big fat suspicious grooming situation. What is the age of consent in your state/country? Even if the age of consent was 16, if he is over 18, that's not consensual sex. There's already a power imbalance. Why haven't you asked your girlfriend for some time to have a discussion? Why discuss her sex life with your family members instead of her? There's something uncomfortable about the fact Op is equally as troubled that his partner has slept with anyone other than him as they are about the fact that she was a victim of incest. I don't see why no one else has picked up on that. Plus, he doesn't speak to his girlfriend of 5 years because he doesn't trust her, but does speak to the creepy cousin because apparently that is a more trustworthy source. IDK, I feel like this poor girl is being failed by everyone around her. I think that the closeness can cause heavily blurred lines, which is probably not the most healthy behavior to engage in. The legality seems less of an issue than the age thing, which still seems a little off. I think that it would be best if you just ask her about it, but be sensitive about her feelings. Explain to her that this is not behavior that you perceive as normal, and that it does make you wary, and if you need time to take a break, I think everyone should be allotted that time. If you're worried that she's going to turn to her cousin, well, maybe that's your chance to break free from the kissing cousin situation. We could start with her cousin being a predator. He slept with her when he was 21 and she was 17. Her behavior can be completely related to grooming that has happened for years. You seem concerned about the disgust related to incest, and I agree it's not good at all. However, I think the conversation needs to be directed about her being groomed by an adult male family member. You need to just ask her about it and tell her that her brother told you and that you talked to the cousin. First, are they blood related first cousins that grew up together? I think it's less gross if they are cousins by marriage or something. Was it a one-time thing, or have they had an ongoing relationship? It's definitely weird, but I think you need to get more information from her. I think you deserve better. You know things happen, and if she had not been giggling at inside jokes with her cousin, I would say talk it out, move on. But he is family, and if you marry her, it is going to drag you down to hell, living in that nightmare, always wondering if she still wants him, etc. Look, there are a lot of girls out there, and most of which have not slept with their family, okay? Just talk with her, let her know what you know, and at least let her tell her side of the story. Then you make the decision you can live with. Let me tell you, life is not short when you are living in hell in your head thinking about stuff from the past. Good luck. Dude, this is seriously messed up. I'm not sure about you, but I know it's something I could never get over. It just wouldn't sit right I know laws vary by state, but she was also a minor when it happened, which is even more messed up. Your girlfriend's family is an extension of her. So chances are, if it were to go further with you two, you'd be seeing that cousin a lot more often. I'd break it off with her. I would try to avoid telling her that her brother told you all of that, to preserve their relationship. You have one obvious way of finding out more. Talk to her. You'll be able to find out a lot this way. Whether she would lie about it. What she was thinking then. Whether her giggles were standard cousin stuff or flirting. Whether you can trust her. Avoiding that conversation for the sake of more information, at this point, is avoiding more information. If she reacts badly, you don't need any more information, just leave. If she reacts well, you can make up your mind with what she gives you. I think it's a question of, are you okay with the fact she had sex with her cousin and the way she acted? Legal or not, need to ask yourself if you're okay with the concept that she effed her cousin. The fact she slept with another man you met is irrelevant. You will always encounter one of your partner's exes, it's inevitable. I have ran into my partner's exes and my exes, however we always told each other, oh hey BTW, you're going to meet Dan tonight. We used to have a thing 2 years ago, but we are both friends with Jack and Anna. The fact the brother gave you a serious warning, I think you should talk to him if you want to find out more, but I think you have found out enough info. And the behavior she displayed is questionable, especially in the long run. This is completely understandable that you're feeling annoyed by that. SUAL relationship with relatives is unacceptable and not something to even consider unless person is not aware of being in a relationship with their relative, possible to happen with far relatives. Anyways, if you're feeling that you can't be with her after finding out you're not worth the blame. Marriages between cousins is somewhat common, more in Europe and Asia, but that's besides the point. What's more concerning is what happened at dinner. I'm seeing that your girlfriend and her cousin is laughing because of a secret you don't know about, sleeping with each other. She probably knows by now that you know. Talk to her about it. Voice your concerns and discuss what you want for the future. If you love this person and she loves you equally or more, then try to work it out. If she is acting sus, then break up with her. The hurt now will be less than the hurt later when she does actually cheat on you. Best of luck, mate. Now imagine your wedding day and this cousin approaches both of you in the greeting line and he's hugging her, and the hug lasts just a little too long. Yikes, I mean this dude is going to be part of all those milestones you have with her as a couple. Having babies. He's going to show up at the hospital to congratulate both of you. Maybe you get over it with therapy and just bring an illuminated being. I know I wouldn't, and that this person with put a damp into every single of those joyous moments. I would not put myself through this torture for the rest of my life. Granted, I'm a very practical person, but no matter how in love I were, I'd decide if certain things about the person or situation I was dating were worth living with for the rest of my life. I broke off twice with men I absolutely loves, and my heart was broken for years, but I finally found a man that both my heart and my brain agreed, and I have been happily married for more than a decade. Whatever you do, I wish you strength and wisdom.